Mike, do you know why people are evil? Why does evil exist? This is the question I posed to our group. Now, you can either answer my question or I'll reveal some statistical information first.
Lemons.
Would you like to say something before I reveal statistical information?
No,
Like kind of prime this?
Sure.
So, obviously right now there's a lot of bad in the world going on at this very moment. So, I looked up the About Us for who started this, and it's kind of like a community that then gets second checked. But there's a world map on storymaps.esri.com, and I'm going to overlay the picture, the graphic. But basically, it's keeping track of all the terrorist attacks in 2017 and like putting like dots all over the map on where they happen and bigger if there's more casualties and all that. And as of right now, it's what's today's date? As of recording, June 21st.
It's 21st.
Yeah,
21st. Yeah, I've been writing the date all day. I
Shit.
forgot about it.
As of right now, in 6 months, there's been 593 attacks and 4,001 casualties. Now, just so we're all on the same
How many?
page,
Yeah, what
4,000,
defines
4,001.
4,000.
What defines a terrorist attack? That's
The
important.
definition of a terror attack is a surprise attack involving the calculated use of violence against civilians. The motive behind such an attack will most likely be religious or political in nature. It will be carried out using methods designed to intimidate and instill fear. In the U.S., the FBI defines terrorism as the unlawful use of force or violence against persons or property to intimidate or coerce a government, the civilian population, or any segment thereof in furtherance of political or social objectives. So that's kind of like a very specific example of obviously evil, the freshest one that we unfortunately are now waking up, and every other day we're seeing something going on. And it kind of stems a little bit, it doesn't stem from the religious conversation, but we were talking about like, why does evil exist? And I want to know, like, I just want to pose that question. Like, why do we think people are evil?
Well,
Do we know why people are evil?
there's no solidified answer to that.
Yeah.
You can't possibly understand you can't possibly understand everything I'm thinking. I can't possibly understand everything you're thinking. But we both generally would think we're both good people, right? For the most part.
Yeah.
Those people that are being evil, you have no idea how messed up they might be. Like, they might be to the point where we would classify them as having some sort of psychological issue. And maybe they're not evil. Maybe what they're doing we would classify as evil. But maybe in their heads, they don't even realize they're being evil. Maybe their mind is just so twisted and dark on its own that they're acting just in a normal state of mind. You know, and you have to take a step back. And if you view morality as something that's intention-based more so than as action-based, then that opens a huge can of worms with what exactly is evil or not evil. Because again, how can we say on its own that all those terrorist attacks are evil on their own? Of course, we're going to be like, wow, it sucks. That's terrible. Most likely evil motives behind it. But if someone's at that point where they're going to do something that bad, are they really fully there in the head anyway? Like, are they really truly evil, or is their mind so warped in itself that they're acting evilly within their own mind? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
If I'm making sense with what I'm saying here.
And it again goes back to, I know I've said it on the show before, the Joe Rogan tweet where in this country we have a mental health problem disguised as a gun control problem. And it's so true because
We don't address
it's only
mental
been the
health at
past
all.
few
Well,
years where people are actually, like, we're actually talking about
Yeah.
the fact that mental health. Why did we grow up, and I think we've said this on the show, so we won't go too much into it. Like, why did we grow up not knowing what that was?
Exactly.
And why was it looked down upon for so
That's
many
the
years
big
from
thing,
so
too.
many
It's-
families?
It's looked down upon rather than being treated like a physical
Fix
illness.
yourself. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what helps perpetuate that idea.
And for me, it
It's
just
also
no good.
it's also that like those or that kid in the school is always just the outcast and just constantly picked on and bullied. So then that obviously
Makes
Warps
it
your
worse.
mind as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. But even like the guy, the Virginia shooter recently who shot the Republican baseball practice
Something like
game.
that, yeah.
That loon.
Yeah. That guy, fucking all of his friends said he was cool, normal guy,
Exactly.
just had strong
Yeah.
political views. And how do you get to the point where you carry that out? Like,
Yeah.
what is there something like deep within all of us? Is it a higher power that's evil? Is it like what? Like, I don't understand how people. It's so hard from us with, like to say we all have normal thoughts for the most part. I don't want to know what Nick thinks, but
That's fine.
like, how do you get to that point? Like,
That's as
that's
I
where it's
said.
like, how does evil? Why does it exist?
Why does it exist?
I think some people are just like, for lack of a better term, just like so socially like just like fucked in the head
Yeah.
that they don't even know how to cope anymore. So they just do something that just to like express themselves almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Statement.
yeah, like they just don't know how to like act in the world anymore normally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's to kind of piggyback off that. The reason I wanted to talk about this too is just I wanted to have a conversation.
Nice one.
Oh man.
Party foul. For podcast listeners, Brandon spilled his beer all over the table.
No, come on, this is abstract art. We gotta see what it makes.
It's the United States
It-
mirror.
oh my gosh, it is pretty
It's
much.
the United States
Look at that,
mirrored
it's
across
Florida.
the y-axis.
It's the Northeast. Oh, that's not bad. I mean, we're missing a little bit of Texas there.
It's mirrored
I was
across the
saying
y-axis.
this was the Northeast.
There we go. I made Texas.
Now that panhandle is clearly Florida. We're looking at
Florida, East Coast, Northeast. Pseudo Texas that I was trying to create.
upside down at the light. That's what you're looking
Yeah. there we go.
So maybe I'll time us back in. Maybe I'll make a cut for what just happened, or I'll just leave it in. But Brandon spilled his beer and
Yep.
right in the middle of the bottle.
Way to go.
That's fine.
That was evil.
I'll wash it later. Well, what I was going to say is I wanted to have a conversation about this topic because it really bothered the other night too. Where did anyone see the case of the girl who got sentenced for the text of encouraging? She got sentenced for charges of manslaughter
Involuntary manslaughter.
for the kid who committed suicide in Florida.
No, at least I just saw like
Heard
the
of that.
repost today.
The headlines?
But I'm guessing
The
that's why
repost.
it got reposted.
They posted all of the text messages that were sent between them, and I must have read like 100 messages or something. I read them all last night, and the fact that this girl must have said 50 times, "Why aren't you doing
Yeah,
it?"
no, it almost the first
How-
time because those were actually released like a while ago.
A few
the
of them.
first time
yeah.
I read it, like it almost like turned my stomach a
It
little
ate
bit.
Yeah.
me inside last night that this
Yeah.
girl had said. She said it. I'm not kidding you. Like 50 times. Why aren't you doing it? Every text message was about getting this kid to commit suicide.
Like he was basically trying to like
He was
talk
crying out
about
for help.
something. He was basically just trying to talk about anything else, and she just kept like
But
going
why-
back to
when are you going to do it? You said you were
yeah,
going to do it. Like you said you wanted this. How is this something we're actually talking about? Like,
As I said, it's the individual had to have had such a warped mind, such a twisted mind that they were able to want that out of
construct those
someone.
ideas.
Yeah.
supposedly. I don't even know if this is true because I didn't even actually watch anything on it. I'm just going off of like pictures and posts on the internet and stuff. But
Which everyone does for
well,
everything.
the internet's always true too, so it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Abe
But
Lincoln,
supposedly they're
2016.
trying to like blame it on like her defense. She's trying to blame it on like her antidepressants that she was on and shit. But that's everybodydy's fallback now because
How old are these people?
Yeah.
They were teenagers. They was like younger than us.
Why?
they were in high school. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, he was a high school kid.
I don't know.
But it's also the fact that every person now in America that does something
Can
just
claim
tries to go to
And-
mental illness because
Yep.
they know it works.
That's the bigger problem is that the people who are actually suffering now this gets clouded where
Yep.
even all these murder cases they the number one claim, I forget exactly what it's called, but they claim
Insanity.
Insanity.
Yep.
The insanity plea. So their sentence gets reduced because this person, it was out of their control for why they were doing what they did. And how do we enable excuses like that?
Even isn't the dude that shot up the movie theater, like wasn't he like completely normal, and then when he was in the courtroom, like he was just completely fucking out of it, like acting like he was like out of his fucking mind.
I've seen stuff
Wouldn't
on
doubt
that.
it.
Is that
yeah.
the dude like after the Dark Knight?
Yeah,
or
the
Yeah,
Dark
whatever?
Knight
dressed up as
shooting.
the Joker and shit.
Yeah.
So, but
I don't
I
fucking
think
know.
he was like completely normal. But then once like he had his hearing and he was in the courtroom and stuff,
just started
he
freaking
was
out,
like
yeah.
just talking nonsense, not
Yeah.
making any sense. It's just
I just have such a problem with it because we, like the mental illness thing, it's so overshadowed, and again, people fucking take advantage of everything, and
Yeah.
all the people
Yeah.
that take advantage of everything, I consider
it
you
for
fucking
everyone.
evil
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
because you're taking away from someone else. This is the part about graduations I wanted to talk about. And you know, I forget how whenever the fuck I was talking about graduations, but we were at my sister's graduation yesterday, and the part I can't stand is where everyone in this world is just about themselves, where they ask you don't applaud for when your kid gets up.
Yeah, you wait till the end. Yeah.
And these people, they have like 15 of their family members sounding off air horns and shit.
Yeah.
And they're so loud that they stop the next name from being heard. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
I was sitting there, I was just boiling. I was like shaking my head. I was literally about to start yelling, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah, they don't think
Because you're
about
taking
the
all
next-
you
It's very
they
selfish.
take the
Yes.
moment away
Yep.
from the next kid.
from the next kid. And
Yep.
someone yelled right before Sabrina's name too, but they stopped like the second before hers
Thank
got
God,
read.
because you would have fucking.
I would've lost my mind.
Yeah.
And it's- why is
Wait, you
every-
wanna
running
shut up
after?
the place?
Yeah, no. But I look at this shit as fucking evil too, because it's like, why are we all so fucking selfish in this world?
yeah.
And
Because that's my kid.
It all
Yeah.
it all
They did
goes
it.
back to the intention, as I was saying. Like
Yeah.
it's not the action you do; it's why are you doing it.
I was talking to segue into our last part of the conversation here. I was talking with a coworker, and is it that, and I don't have the statistics and I'd love to know, but is it that these problems have always happened, that there's always been this many issues, or is it just because we're such in a fucking socially connected world now that anytime something like a terrorist attack used to have to find out in the paper the next morning, that we find out instantly,
Yeah.
and instantly there's millions of people putting their thoughts and ideas out there on that subject, that it gets polarized and put on such a fucking
it's
like pedestal.
I mean,
that-
Well, it's definitely it's a different case nowadays than it was. There's
always
always
happened.
been terror in the world.
You got to keep
Yeah,
in
of
mind,
course.
70 years ago, we were hanging black people.
yeah,
casually.
of course.
I
You know,
also- I
that
don't know.
existed in our
I'm saying
nation.
like the outrage culture now of
I
Yeah.
think there's a lot more terror attacks now, but stuff like police shootings, I think, always happen to the amount that they do have, like, happen today. But we just didn't hear about them. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think stuff like that. But I think there's definitely way more, like,
There's more exposure everywhere,
Yeah.
Everything.
more coverage everywhere, because it's so easy. I can record something and post it to the world. We don't just
High
need news
definition.
anchors. High
which,
definition.
which also, in turn, like, could almost sort of fuel this type of stuff, because a lot of times you almost see these people doing these things to get that
exactly.
one major
infamy.
headline.
There was that one guy who-
terrorism for a reason. 'Cause
And
they
now-
want to create terror
Yeah.
amongst people.
And
Yeah.
now
People
you're
are gonna
telling them.
spread it.
Now
Yeah.
you're telling them that they're going to be all over fucking. Instead of just being a
Exactly.
headline on CNN,
Yeah.
like
Yep.
they were back whenever, you're going to be all over fucking Twitter.
Everywhere
You're
in
gonna
a
have-
second. The
in a
second you
second.
do it,
You're going to have everyone calling you a scumbag and everything, but you're going to be.
but you're getting that
your
attention
name's
you
gonna be
want.
there.
You're putting that fear
we're
out
doing
there.
that. We're giving ideas. We're doing all
Yep.
sorts of horrible shit.
Or like there was that one guy who live streamed himself killing some guy.
Yeah,
on
I saw
Facebook.
that.
Yeah.
I watched
Crazy.
that, and that was
That's what I
fucking
mean.
horrible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't fucking get it.
It's nuts. And those
And-
people that do it are twisted in the head. Like they really are
Yeah.
at such an incomprehensible level that evil is nothing. It's abstracted, And again, to go back to the philosophical roots of that, it's hard to say conclusively whether it's evil or not based on the action. More so, why are they doing it? Where's their mind at? Where they're doing it? So yeah, intentions
matter.
Words
and
mean nothing. Actions mean a little bit more, but still not much. And intentions mean everything.
I like the end of that. There's no answer for my do you know question. I just wanted to vent a little bit, but I also wanted to talk about some of the fucked up problems right now
It doesn't make
in our world. And I
hard
think
to make sense of any of it.
it's impossible. No one
It's
can.
also the fact that if you mix mental illness with certain kinds of drugs, then that just
Recipe
creates a whole
yeah,
nother
Yeah.
for
monster.
disaster. And accessibility to
Yeah.
weaponry, which was the case in the Sandy Hook shooting, where this kid had access to all sorts of different guns. So some of it, also goes back on parenting and all that,
Yeah,
and the
that's
environment
common.
that you're growing
Of
up
course,
with.
Like,
A lot of it is your environment.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna do a future topic on internet. Is it good or bad? Because we talked about the bad today, but there's some good in it too. But we'll save that for a future topic. This was episode.
GoFundMe.
We don't
We
have
don't
one
have
of those.
I know.
But you can hit the subscribe button for us. That would be greatly beneficial. We're at
Smash it.
67, 68 as of recording. This is episode 32. We do want you to check out the descriptions of this video, like our various and follow our various social media pages. We want to bump all of our numbers up, continue to grow, have some fun. Hopefully the camera looks a lot better. Me and Mike played with some settings earlier, so hopefully the video looks better. Hopefully the audio sounds better. We're getting there. Learning.
You can actually see that Brandon's balding.
Fun fact, we had to turn off our studio lighting so that I didn't look like I had a bald melon, even though I still kind of do in the video. But that's A-okay. This is Foreplay. We're out. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching or listening.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/4playvideo.
If you like what we're doing, make sure to smash that like button.
Be sure to share all our videos with your friends so we could continue to grow. And we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.